I just finished cooking my kids' favorite food, and after that, I prepared the table for our breakfast. I woke up early every day just to serve my kids the healthiest and tastiest breakfast because it has always been my responsibility to be hands on in taking care of them. But everything changed lately. As my mother in law Daisy moved in with us, she has been so into the ways that I manage the house and even handle my children. She would always pick up on the things that I do, especially those that don't seem right and perfect for us, and she has always been so vocal about her dislike towards me. And just as I expected, 15 minutes before my kids would come to the kitchen, Daisy came first. And the very first thing she did was to check what I cooked. "What are these?" she asked with her eyebrows frowning as she looked down at the food I cooked with a disgusting face. Those are eggs Benedict, Jane, and Adam's favorite. "But this is unhealthy, lots of oil. I won't allow you to feed my grandchildren with that junk." They specifically requested this from me last night. She lifted one plate and moved closer to the trash bin. "Do you think I care about what you say? I will throw this out and I will make them a salad. They need all the necessary nutrients for the entire day at school. Oh gosh, why is my daughter-in-law so stupid?" I closed my eyes to contain the forming anger in me. I composed myself as much as I want to talk to her. I just held my mouth shut because I don't have time for another argument and it would only draw us further apart. She doesn't only control what I do, but also the decisions that I make for the entire house and even for my family. I tried to reach this concern to my husband, Romeo, but he would only answer me with,
"Just understand my mother. She's protective of the kids. You'll get used to it."
Ever since I married my husband, my relationship with my mother-in-law has been a tumultuous roller coaster ride. From the moment I entered her life, she made it clear that she didn't approve of me. Her cold glances, snide remarks, and passive-aggressive behavior were a constant presence. And even right now, her treatment towards me is evident that she doesn't like me at all. It has been 4 months since she moved into our house, and since then I feel like I am walking on eggshells. But I was determined to keep the peace and make things work for the sake of our family. I understand her in so many ways, from her constant intrusion to her over-controlling personality. I put up with her attitude just to keep our family relationship going. And because of that, I took the initiative to forge a long-lasting bond with my mother-in-law. I planned a family trip abroad. It was a random Monday morning, and my husband is on a day off. He was sipping his coffee when I sat beside him and I shared my plans. "My love, I have an idea. What do you think about a family trip? It could be a chance for us to bond and create lasting memories together. And it could also be a chance for me and your mother to get along." He put down his mug and nodded.
"A family trip? That sounds amazing, my love, but you know how my mom feels about spending money on such things, right? She would get on our way."
My face fell slightly, but I regained my composure immediately. "I understand, my love, but trust me, this trip could bring us all closer together. It's not just about the destination, but the experiences we will share as a family." My husband heaved a deep sigh.
"Okay, don't worry, I'll talk to my mom."
My husband informed my mother-in-law about the trip later that night. But he told me that she was skeptical about it. She kept on saying that it will only waste our time and money. On top of that, my husband recounted that she will advise me to always become practical in terms of handling money. In short, she disapproved of the idea of a family trip. So, later that night, as I was in the kitchen preparing for dinner, she came near me. So, Mary, what extravagant plan have you cooked up now, wasting money on unnecessary trips, I presume? Why is she being so sarcastic? I took a deep breath and tried to remain composed. Daisy, I genuinely believe this trip will be a valuable opportunity for us to forge a stronger bond as a family. It's about creating memories and cherishing our time together, and it's about time for us to fix the problems we have for each other. But she only rolled her eyes at me. Memories? Time together? Those are just empty words, Mary. You're naive if you think a trip can fix anything. I felt a pang of hurt, but I refused to back down. Daisy, I understand your concerns, but I truly believe this trip will be worth it. The memories we make will last a lifetime, and we need to create a positive environment for our family. She walked out of the kitchen. I heaved a sigh. Patience. I need to have patience for this. But the kids convinced her that it will be fun and that they will be going to spend a lot of time together, and with that, she finally approved. So I took charge of organizing every small to big detail of the trip, from booking flights and accommodations to researching the best places to visit. I poured my heart and soul into making this trip memorable. Because I know that even though my mother-in-law hates me for it, I'm certain that this is the best way to mend our relationship together. Because, for the record, I am so tired of fighting. Her mistreatment of me hurts me so much, and if she's going to stay with us for a long time, I just can't live with her bad attitude towards me. Hence, the trip is an opportunity for us to bond as a family to create lasting memories together. As the days went near, I started to pack things and finalize the itinerary, but as usual, my mother-in-law disapproved of almost everything. She told me that my tastes are so ugly and that I am being so tactless in planning the trip. She even said that it should be her planning because she already went to Japan, our destination, when she was young. I wanted to argue with her, but my husband stopped me and told me to just let it go. So I did. I didn't mind her at all, even if she kept on brushing my face that my plans are bad and boring. I just kept my head strong and focused my mind on our trip. The excitement built up as the day of our flight approached. I double-checked everything, ensuring that nothing was amiss. My anticipation grew with each passing moment, and I eagerly counted the days until we would embark on this adventure. My kids hurriedly rode the car, and my husband was the one driving. I was about to sit in the front when my mother-in-law stopped me. She opened the car door and sat there. She rolled down the window and told me that the kids need my attention at the back. It's not best to let them ride the back seat with no adult supervision. But we have been doing this all the time. Whenever we go out, the kids sit at the back with seat belts on and I'm always in the passenger seat. This is not right. I don't want to ruin the day. That is why I sat on the back. My husband didn't even talk to his mother about it. Maybe he just doesn't want any drama on this special day. So on our car ride towards the airport, I was silent. I tried to compose and assure myself that everything will be alright and that I am not letting any bad vibes get in my way. As soon as we parked our car, the kids went out excitedly as well as my mother-in-law. And before we could even go inside the airport, I told them that I will be collecting their passports because I will be the one to go to the reception area. And why would you do that? That's not how it works. Daisy, I have a pass actually. Pass? What do you mean? What are you, a VIP? Bet you never boarded a plane ever. It explains your ignorance. I closed my eyes once again to control my temper. I didn't ask for her passport then and just collected my kids and husband's. My husband and kids went inside first because the kids insisted on buying food. But just as I was about to step foot into the airport, the unthinkable happened. My mother-in-law laid out a mischievous glint in her eyes. She snatched my passport from my hands. I was taken aback, but she grinned at me evilly. She tore my passport apart before my very eyes. My heart sank and a surge of shock and devastation overtook me. I couldn't comprehend why she would stoop so low, sabotaging my chance to be part of this family trip. She threw it on the ground and stepped on it until it was ripped apart. My world shattered before my eyes. This is impossible. Oh, Mary, it seems you won't be joining us after all. You forgot your passport at home and we can't wait for you. How careless of you. She mocked me. I want to slap her so hard, but I will never resort to this kind of behavior. My heart sank as I realized the length of her act. How could you? You deliberately took my passport to prevent me from going on this trip? And worst, you ripped it apart? You're so heartless. What have I done wrong to you? She gave me a smug smile. Simply by breathing. I don't like you for my son. I don't even like your entire existence. You are so cruel. You will pay for this. She just laughed at me as if everything that I said was ridiculous to her. I did what I had to do, Mary. It's for the best. You're not wanted or needed on this family vacation. I contained my tears. I don't want her to see me weak, but with determination inside. I looked her straight in the eyes. She didn't know what she did. She crossed the wrong person. I looked around and people were staring at us, even talking. Then I noticed the guard calling his colleague and he approached us. A perfect opportunity for me to drop my bomb. You may have ripped my passport, but you didn't know it's a diplomatic passport. I shouted, making sure the guards heard it. She raises her brows and laughs so hard, and he did, so he paged his other colleagues right away. Oh, don't be so delusional, you! With a diplomatic passport? Oh, hell no, that's impossible. My grandfather was a diplomat, an ambassador of tourism in Japan, and you dare say that I never boarded a plane or even went to Japan? Huh! Since I was young, my grandfather would bring me to his diplomatic works and conference because he knew that I loved the country. That's why I was able to have a diplomatic passport as well. I picked up the remains of my passport and showed her a ripped badge that indicates that my passport is truly a diplomatic one. She gasped, and her eyes widened. See it for yourself, and by the way, the guard saw your act. You have just violated a diplomatic passport, Daisy. Prepare to face the consequences. As soon as she heard me say that, she looked back and a bunch of guards are approaching her. She started to panic. I saw my husband go out with the kids, carefully searching for us until he noticed us in the center of the commotion. He went near me and asked what happened. I showed him the ripped passport and he was so shocked. The guards came and checked the area.
Mrs. Daisy, our guard witnessed your act of tearing apart a diplomatic passport. Such actions are not only illegal but also a serious violation. You will be held accountable for your actions.
Her panic increased as the severity of her actions sinks in. I didn't know it was a diplomatic passport. I didn't mean any harm.
Ignorance is not an excuse, Mrs. Daisy. This is a serious offense. Your actions could have led to an international incident. We will be detaining you until this matter is resolved.
She panicked even more and went to grab her son's arms. Romeo, please help me. Tell them it's not my fault. But my husband just looked at her with no emotions.
I am done covering your bad attitude, Mom. You went too far, and this time I can't even tell if you are a good person or if you are even my mother. There are witnesses, and you need to face the consequences of your actions.
She held my hands instead and pleaded, but I gave her no answer. Daisy's face turned pale as the guards escorted her away, leaving me and my husband standing there with a mix of relief and sadness in our eyes. I know that what I did was right. Determined not to let our actions destroy our family trip, the decision of summoning the strength within me to unveil the truth was meant to unveil a secret that I don't want to use as a device to impose my privilege, which is my diplomatic passport. My late grandfather, a respected diplomat, had left me this precious document, and now it served as my salvation, and I would owe it all to him. I hugged my kids as they were full of confusion. I explained to them what happened, and they understood it. We were sitting in the waiting area with our flight delayed due to the unexpected turn of events. I clutched my torn passport, a symbol of the ordeal that I have endured. The guards came to me and told me that my mother-in-law will be put in a social worker facility where she will go for interventions and even legal, medical, and psychological counseling. And in return, the airlines booked me a rush passport appointment to avail my new one. They even told me that it will just be 2 hours of transaction and they are willing to reschedule our flight. We thanked them for their efforts. As soon as the guard left me, my husband held me.
I can't believe my mother would stoop so low. I'm so sorry, my love. No one deserves to be treated this way, especially by their own family.
Romeo, my love, we can't change what has happened, but we can learn from it. This incident has only reinforced our strength and unity as a couple. We won't let her actions define us or dampen our spirits.
You're right, my love. We'll rise above this. Our love as a family is stronger than any obstacle thrown our way, and we will make beautiful memories on this trip, despite the initial setback. Am I right, kids?
Our children replied in unison with a resounding yes. Oh, to be with my family is such a joy. We held each other's hands tightly, finding solace in our unwavering bond. After 2 hours, I got my new password and we hopped onto our plane and began our trip. As Romeo, the kids, and I embarked on our journey, the weight of Daisy's absence lifted from our shoulders. We were free to embrace the joys and wonders of our family trip. With each passing day, we grew closer, cherishing every moment of togetherness. The challenges we faced during the trip brought Romeo and me even closer together. We learned to rely on each other to support one another through thick and thin. Our love became a shield against the negativity that had plagued our lives, and we reveled in the newfound strength of our bond. Returning home, I carried with me a newfound sense of empowerment. Daisy's actions had tested me in ways I never thought possible, but they had also revealed the depth of my inner strength. I vowed to no longer tolerate mistreatment or allow anyone to undermine my worth. Daisy, in her delusion, may never fully comprehend the magnitude of her wrongdoing, but I had risen above her actions, embracing the love and support that surrounded me. The scars she left behind served as a reminder of my resilience and I resolve to use my experiences to help others who may face similar challenges. In the end, Daisy's attempt to tear us apart only brought us closer together. We emerged from the shadow of her toxic presence, stronger and more united as a family. Our journey had transformed us, shaping us into individuals capable of facing adversity head on and emerging victorious. And as we move forward, I carry with me the lessons learned and the strength gained. With Romeo by my side, I embrace the future with renewed hope and unwavering determination. Together, we will overcome any obstacle, secure in the knowledge that love and resilience will always prevail.